You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
NCAA tournament hopes remain high for the Memphis Tigers. Today, we'll take a look at how the Tigers get ready and stay ready in the weight room. We'll meet senior guard DeMaurier Franklin, and we'll check out the final two games of the regular season. It's The Penny Hardaway Show, tipping off next.
The game is on.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser of Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. And is supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers.
Two tough tests, and the Tigers are rolling. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Woloshin.
And I'm Tyler Springs. Let's take a look at the highlights from Cincinnati and from Wichita State.
Always tough to play in the Roundhouse. Tigers traveling to Wichita State. Kendrick Davis back in the lineup after spraining that ankle last week. First possession of the game, ankle all good. Game high 19 for him. This one tight throughout. 72-68, 3 minutes left. Davis feeds a cutting DeMaurier Franklin for the two-handed slam. Season high 12 points for him. Shockers fight back, lead down to 2 with 1:20 left. The Memphis kid, Jonathan Lawson, with the biggest shot of his young career as a Tiger. Bottoms from beyond. Tigers get a gritty 83-78 win in a tough environment. Little pyro action to get the crowd fired up on a Sunday afternoon. Tigers looking for the season sweep of Cincinnati. Alex Lomax is our defensive player of the week. Picks his man's pocket all alone for the open layup to make it 14-11 Tigers. But he's not done. Very next possession, Lomax another robbery. This time he finds DeAndre Williams for the up and under layup. They're fired up. Memphis up by 5. Davis came alive in the second half, as he does so often. Get off me, count it, and 1. Game high 22 for him. Home team up 14 after the free throw. This one got tight down the stretch, but our outstanding performer of the week helped seal it. 4-point game in the final 15 seconds when Williams skies for the most important of his 3 blocks on the day. A little interesting at the end, but the Tigers complete a perfect week with a 3-point dub over Cincinnati.
Coach, college basketball has become such a year-long proposition. And a strength and conditioning coach is probably with the student athletes even more than, say, you when it's the off-season. So what's the first thing you're looking for when you decide who's going to be your strength and conditioning coach?
Well, the first thing is mindset of the strength coach. You know, his resume can be great, but if his mindset isn't right, because your guys have to gain confidence in the weight room to be able to carry over to the floor. It's that important.
How much is it about who's also on the roster and what they need if you've got a lot of young guys who maybe need to gain weight to get used to the college game?
Well, you know, usually when you go get the guy with the right mindset, he knows how to put weight on guys and help guys that need to lose weight. So, you know, I've been able to find some really good guys, and they fight really hard with the guys in the weight room. They give them confidence, and they push them out on the floor, and then it carries over.
You know, I remember when you were a player, Dean Lotz was your strength coach, and he's always trying innovative things. He had these, what were they, like kites or something to slow you down?
Yeah, the parachutes.
Parachutes to try to get you faster. What's the new innovative things that you guys are using?
Well, we use everything. It's more body weight things now. You know, it's not as much heavy. It's more body weight. It's more bands. The NBA has gone to that to try to prevent injuries and also get strength at the same time. In the off season, you can get a little heavier, but during the season, it's more band work, it's more lighter work, more reps, lighter weight.
When you talk about nutrition, why is that important to building a good team, and what do these kids have to learn about it?
Yeah, it's so important, nutrition, because what you put in your body, it fuels you. You know, if you put the wrong thing in, you don't get the energy. You put the right thing in. We give them carbs the day before game because they need something to feed off of that fuel. It's like putting bad gas in a car. You know, and especially in a sports car, it's not going to run properly. So it's the same thing with the body. And we have these guys understand that the week of a game, not just the day before the game, start your preparation on good meals.
So when you were a player, I don't know if they had the same philosophy. We've seen sports medicine change. Have you seen the way you would eat your pregame stuff differ now in this day and age?
We had the same pregame meal every game when I was here. It was either steak or a chopped hamburger steak. You got the choice of the other with a baked potato. Now they get everything they want. The menu is everything that they want, from chicken to salmon to any kind of fish, all kinds of chicken and potatoes and carbs.
Do you feel like most of them eat a pretty healthy couple of 3 square meals?
For the most part, we give them all healthy, and what they do on their own, they just have to choose wisely.
When you're using today's techniques, and you just talked about stretching and injury prevention, how tough do you want them to be? How bulked up? I can remember when I was back in high school, you said you didn't want to lift because it would affect your shot. Mm-hmm. Is that a fallacy?
Yeah, that is. That doesn't work anymore, because now you go lift, you go right to the gym and you shoot, and then it doesn't affect you. But I think that there's a fine line from, putting too much weight on a guy's frame that needs to be like sleek. You don't want a guy to bulk up that needs to be fast. If he can bulk up and stay fast, then that's special. So for us, the guys that come in that are really, really small, we get them stronger. We try to get them to gain a little weight at like a moderate rate, not too fast. And for the guys that need to lose, we get them guys to lose slowly and not lose too fast. So it's like that fine line in there.
Can you see gains during the season, or is it just more so from off season's end to the next season's beginning?
I think you get all of the gains during the off season. It's hard to get a guy to gain during the season because it's so much practice, so much running, it's games, and the time of hours that you eat after the games, it's kind of hard to kind of lose, to do that.
In your tenure here, give me a great example of a guy who you think came in, wasn't that fit, wasn't that strong, and you really developed. And one guy comes to my mind is Lester Quinones. He might have had the short shorts and was proud of his legs, but when he left here, he was a really fit and much more developed muscular-wise than he was when he first came.
Yeah, for sure. I can say Lester, and I can even say my own son, when Jaden first came.
Yeah.
Very small, now he's bigger, he's stronger. The strength and conditioning program has been great here for those guys that have really just bought into doing extra, not just the weights that you do during the season, doing extra during the week without the schedule that you're supposed to have. And that's what Lester did, and that's what Jaden has done.
Do you feel like you've got a post you can think of as well, who's maybe fit that mold of somebody who's really taken to it?
Well, I would say KO. I would say Musa Cisse. 2 guys that come to mind. They were smaller, they got bigger and stronger while they were here. They were small and in size, and then they gained 15, 20 pounds and looked better.
Well, Duran didn't shrink when he was here.
No, he actually got bigger as well. Jalen, he was already a muscular kid, but he got more defined while he was here.
Do you see it show up in terms of, like Dave was talking about, toughness during the season? Guys can take more knocks when they've had the weight training, when they've had the conditioning, and they're just better able to recover.
Yeah, we see it before when the guys come in June, how they don't like the contact, and then by the time September hits, October, and they're bigger and stronger, they're giving the contact. So you start to see the mentality change when they start to gain the weight and get stronger.
Is there anybody on this team you'd like to see get bigger?
As far as bigger, obviously Chandler and Jonathan and KO can gain a little bit more weight, but you don't want to make them slower. So you have to be smart about it. But those guys definitely are the guys that are not as strong as they want to be right now. But they work. It just has to, their metabolism is so high.
Demarie Franklin's season got started late, but his value has grown steadily throughout the year. We talk with the 5th-year senior next.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Welcome back to the Penny Hardaway Show. Through mid-February, Demarie Franklin was just a veteran in a locker room full of them. And then, with one scrappy scoop and score against UCF, he became something else, a game winner. This is how the Tigers' 5th-year guard got to where he is today.
Look at this guy. Got it back. Oh, boy.
Demarie, let's start at the beginning. When did you first pick up a basketball, and what do you remember of it?
I picked up a basketball when I was 5 years old. Just in the gym, my dad used to play basketball when I was growing up. He was a pretty good high school player, but I say it started when I was 5. And I remember the gym, we was at a Boys and Girls Club. My dad was always playing like the little leagues, men's leagues there. And that was the first time I picked up one.
When did basketball become clearly your number one?
I said high school. High school where I knew like I gotta pick one sport that I was really good at, and it was basketball, and put all my time into it.
Playing and competing for Niles North, what was that like for you and succeeding to the degree that you did?
It was fun, just going in like a different environment, because I moved to the suburbs from the city. So it was kind of different than having any friends at first, but when basketball came around, I started meeting new people, meeting new friends, so it was pretty fun.
Did that experience prepare you for some of the jumps you had to take school to school later on?
Oh yeah, it most definitely did. Prepared me like communication-wise, like just going out, just meeting new people, like be the first person to open up, so it did prepare me.
When you get out of high school and you didn't get probably the level of offer that you wanted, what was your mindset at that point?
Just keep working, like everybody don't have the same ability like everybody. Like some people jump higher than others, so you just gotta like do the little things to make it far.
2 years at State Fair, do you feel like you showed off what you wanted to show?
Yeah, I did. I did it like mostly my second year. My first year was just like a little warm-up year. We had a lot of returning guys on the team that was pretty good, so I was like kind of in the shadow, but my sophomore year, I really did show it a lot.
You get out of junior college and you get a chance at Tennessee Tech and you play well there, but it didn't end up being a long-term fit for you. Why not?
I just wanted like to go on to like a higher level. Like the OVC was a nice level, like a nice start up coming out of JUCO, and I just felt like I showed like enough that I need to show like to move on to a higher level. So that's what really made me want to leave Tennessee Tech.
Illinois Chicago gives you that chance and you performed really well there. What about the success that you had at UIC made you think, I can take this even bigger?
Just the coaching staff behind me that really believed in me. Like I had a good relationship with the assistant coach, D. Brown. Like he told me every day, like, you're a high major player, like you gotta work like it. So like that's what stuck to me. Just keep working and just keep playing hard.
When you look for an opportunity outside of UIC, Memphis comes along, you're interested, they're interested. Why did it make sense?
It's just like, I feel like it was the right fit, like the culture and like the style of play, like it just suits me. Like I'm I like playing defense, I like playing physical. So Memphis was the school that was a physical team. So Memphis was the right fit for me.
Was it weird talking to Penny for the first time?
Yeah, it was. It was like weird, shocking. It was a lot, cause like it's Penny Hardaway, like one of the greatest players. So it was like I was a little shocked, but then when I talked to him on the phone, like I got it kind of settled. The conversation was genuine, and like it was the first school that reached out and said they wanted to do a Zoom call instead of a regular call. So I felt like that was like more like family-like. So that's what really stuck with me in my decision. Watched the tournament that year, like the year before when they played Gonzaga, like watched them against Jordan a lot. So like me and my dad have like a lot of debates. Cause my dad a really big fan, so he always send me questions to ask Penny. So I'd be like, okay, I can't ask him all these questions right now. So yeah.
You and your dad clearly have a close relationship. How much of that has been a benefit to you in your basketball career?
It's been good. I feel like he's been like my biggest like competitor. Like he's a dad, so, like he don't feed me all the good stuff. Like he tell me what I do wrong, he tell me what I do right. Like tell me what I need to work on like better. Like I really like appreciate him because he tell me like the real.
When you found out you were cleared, were you excited? Were you nervous?
A little bit of both. Like just didn't know how to expect. Alabama had a lot of hype being number 4 team in the country, so it was a big game. So it's like come back on a big game, first game back, a lot of jitter. So it was kind of a lot.
You get in against Alabama and you had a pretty short shift, but you still scored there. How much did that give you confidence going forward that, all right, it feels just like it should?
It gave me a lot of confidence. It just know like I'm here and like I'm right where I need to be. Like sometimes I be down myself, okay, like if I'm really like ready for it. Like it'd be some games like I won't play good. I'm like, okay, like is this what I want? But then I just had to snap back into reality, like this is what I always wanted. So it's pretty hard sometimes. You
came up with maybe the play of your year against UCF, going in for the game-winning layup. Did that change things for you at all?
No, yeah, that did give me a lot of boost of confidence, especially going into the Houston game. I say like that play, it changed a lot. Like it just showed like how big Memphis Tiger is for the city of Memphis, like the fans and like just everybody. So it gave me a lot of confidence. To this day, I think it's still a dream just being in the gym with Penny Hardaway and around like the other coaches that's pretty known and that had a successful coaching career before they joined the team. So it's still a dream to me.
A little while ago, Demarie Franklin came and saved the day against UCF. And since then, he seems like a different guy, like all the pressure has suddenly gone.
Yeah, I am so happy for him because he wanted from day one to play and couldn't play, so he had to sit out. And he was sad every day, and we had to uplift his spirits. And then it comes to him being able to be eligible in one of the biggest games of the year at Alabama, and he came in and played really well. And then after that, the pressure that he put on himself, it just mounted to the point where he was never comfortable. He never got comfortable in the game. And to fast forward to this point against UCF, to get the steal and Jonathan Lawson to flip it to him and to go down and finish in traffic with his left hand, which we've been working on all year, to win that game and then to come back the following game and play another great game, I think the confidence is there now.
How big is it for him to perform on that stage against Houston, especially without KD in there?
Yeah, no, it was huge because he was not afraid. He wanted the moment, and he played well, so that was big for him.
And that was a moment, he might not have ever played in anything that big, on that kind of stage, national TV, #2 team in the country. It has to really bode well, I think, for him going forward.
Yeah, it does. And this is the Demarie that we've been seeing in practice. But once he got into the games, it just didn't transfer over until now. So we see the hop in his step now. We see him smiling more, which is all good because it's bigger than basketball. We want him to be happy regardless, or the ups and downs. And we helped him get through the valleys, and now he's at the top of the mountain.
Is this kind of the place where you talked about him potentially getting to when he was in the portal, and this felt like the place for him?
Yeah, well, he has the talent. It's just putting the pressure on yourself. And every little thing that you don't do right, you just punish yourself. There's no way you could be great. Now he's happier, and this is the point that what we knew he was going to get to.
A Texas two-step is next for the Tigers. They'll go on the road to SMU and then return home, looking for vengeance against Houston. We'll talk Mustangs and Cougars after this.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
It's amazing, Coach, how quickly seasons can go by. Last 2 games at SMU, and then that rematch with Houston.
Yeah, we definitely can't let our guard down at SMU because they're very capable. They're a team that, they can get you at home if you go in there and you underestimate them, especially trying to skip them to get to Houston. So we know we have to go there and handle business before coming back home with a rematch against Houston.
What's Houston demonstrated to you at this point?
Well, that they're consistent. They've demonstrated that they're consistent and that their culture, the confidence in their culture that they carry is what gets them through most games. They're tough, and they're deserving of everything that they've gotten this year.
I am sure DeAndre Williams wants another shot at those guys. He's from that town, and KD getting the shot.
Yeah, he got to understand how hard it was for him to sit over there, going back home to Houston, having probably the best team that he's had to go back to beat them, and not being able to be involved in that game, but being healthy for the next game, for sure.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
I can't wait to see a fully loaded Tiger team take on Houston. We're back with a wrap in just a minute.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Thanks for sharing some of your Sunday evening with us. We'll do it again next week.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser of Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from #1. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone, and is supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.